to Collaborator Short on Shorts. I'm Michelle Nunes, and I'm not dirty. It's an inside joke. This is my fellow co-host. This is Kevin Allen Jackson.
Hi.
He is the co-founder of Collaborator. We also have Maria Perry. She's a filmmaker, and she has a tattoo that glows in the black light.
Yep.
And I showered this morning, so I'm also not dirty.
There are no dirty people
There
here.
are no dirty people. There ain't no hoes.
Well, maybe there's one.
And then there's this guy.
Brett Ehrlich, everyone.
I'm a little dirty at all times, but I think it rounds me out as a person.
That's your soul, though, not like bodily, right?
Right, yeah.
I feel like we're learning so much about each other this season.
It's great.
It's wonderful.
We've come so far.
We have. It's awesome.
Speaking of dirty. Anyways, okay, so today we review Offline Dating, which can get pretty dirty.
Yes.
This is a comical documentary written and directed by Samuel Abrahams and starring Tom Greaves as a man who has been kind of challenged by Sam to find a date the old-fashioned way. Samuel follows Tom around as he tries to pick up women on the street without the use of the internet, revealing through his struggles just how much we've come to rely on the online world just to form a bond with another human being. Wow, I love this one. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. This is something that when I was kind of figuring out the premise, I was like, oh my gosh, you're challenging yourself to form a connection with people without the internet. But then I'd date this guy.
Would you?
I would. I thought he was super charming.
He was super. He was somewhat charming.
Like halfway through, he became more charming.
That's what I mean. It took me a while. I was like, oh yeah, he's great.
I mean, it was because I felt like he just. I mean, and one of the women on the documentary said this, but he was just going up and asking them out immediately.
Yeah.
And then he learned like, oh, if I just like say hello and how are you? And
But I think that was I feel like that was on purpose, right? That was kind of the point that in our digital age, we have forgotten how to really court each other, right?
yes.
I mean,
I didn't think of that.
I don't know. I mean, I just that's the way I read it anyway. Because I kept being like, bro, nobody does that. You don't,
Right, well, that's why I thought
you
he
don't
was
go up to
doing it
a
on-
woman and say, hey, I'm looking for a date. You know, unless she's a
everybody
professional.
does that.
Yeah.
You know.
And I wonder if now people are less used to, I imagine, experiencing that anyway.
Yes.
You know, because the amount of people that are using online dating, it seems like a great solution to the
Right.
problem of having to get over this weird awkwardness of getting to the point where it's like, you want to go out on Friday? Or whenever people do it. I've been in a
But
relationship for 5 years.
do you think that the movie did the movie conclude that online dating was robbing us of something, or was it just an interesting journey of a guy who was trying to do something that's from a little bit of a bygone era?
I think it's definitely robbing us of something, and this is the thing that it's robbing us of, whether it's like a valuable thing or not that it's taking from us, whether we need this kind of interaction with someone on the street coming up to you and going like, hey, I'm trying not to use Tinder anymore. Can we go on a date? But he's like, one of the aspects of this format editing, I played into it a lot, is watching the contrast of the different reactions he gets. Because girl on the rollerblades rolling the doobie or her own cigarette, was super into it.
Right.
The girl with the headband was into it, and the Italian girl invited him to a barbecue. And there were other women who were just like,
Get away from me.
you're sketchy.
Yeah.
Which is,
Well, it is kind of sketchy.
and I think that's a good cross section of the dating experience.
Right, but I also have to say that I think, and this is coming out of the other point that I made. You know how we're meaner on the internet, right? Because we have that boundary. I
Right.
thought that this was sort of a commentary on that, right? Like we don't know the socially correct way to interact anymore because we don't interact. We have that barrier, right? We have the barrier of the safety of the internet, and that's why in the beginning he just, and when he got more likable was when he was a little bit more socially acceptable, and he was actually trying to talk to someone in a nice way and not just, hey, will you date me? Right? I don't know if that makes any sense.
And no, but
Yeah, it
he
makes
might have
sense.
learned that as he went along in the day of shooting, just the same way that you get better at meeting people and talking to them.
Well, I was wondering if production-wise, if the reason he started out that way is because he just had this idea of the goal in mind. Like, oh, I've got to get a date for the show. Like, that's what we're trying to do. So I didn't know if it was commentary or if it was just him executing in a way that was unlike himself for the efforts of the show.
And it may have ended up kind of being a commentary or some kind of artifact of how, if you're not making a short, you learn anyway about dating. You know, I've done those shoots where you do Man on the Street, and like the first half hour of it is just so awkward because you're like, oh, I have to learn. I don't know what's funny about this yet or what's good.
Right.
Plus, like if you're trying to get a date and there's like a camera crew, there's like a guy in the background going like this.
Right.
Like, because I like the shooting style, but I know it's a guy kind of going like this. Who's this guy?
I don't know.
Gimbal guy?
I found it like really sketchy the whole way through, and I don't know if that's because I only grew up in cities, so I'm used to like dudes on the sidewalk being like, "Hey, let me get your number." Like that's the entirety of that interaction. But like I'm probably much more open to people talking to me online because of that safety barrier, because I can turn them off and know like I'm not going to get stabbed for telling you no, you can't have my
Or
phone number.
harassed in some
But this
way.
guy,
I totally agree.
this guy is not the construction worker who whistles at the woman who.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, that's not who
every guy is Schrodinger's douchebag.
Wait, say that again.
Because he's half a douchebag and
Every-
half not a douchebag.
Every guy is Schrodinger's douchebag. You don't know if they're a douchebag till you open that box.
Right.
So when you say no, they could suddenly turn into a douchebag. You don't
Instead
know.
of the cat.
Yeah.
Took me a minute.
Don't you shoot? Yeah, you're killing it. It's amazing.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it a lot. Kudos to the editor, and I liked the color of this. I liked it. The grading was really nice. It did feel like a warm summer's evening, where like some people are out and about on the street, and I really liked that. And I think that I don't know. I thought it was very successful, and he did end up endearing himself to me every time he like knocked something over. Like, I
So
thought it
many
was-
times. It was so cute.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's time to wrap this up with our finals.
Okay.
We'll start with you this time.
Yes. Okay. The score for me also was a nice pairing for the journey. So it made me giggle. It connected me to past, present, and the awkward and magical experience of meeting people. So I gave it 3.5 shorts.
Wow. Okay. This is actually an honorable mention, golden shorts of the season for me. So I'm going to give it 5 shorts.
So
It was
each of
very
us
enduring.
gets a golden shorts, like the best pick of the season. So this is not
Honorable
yours.
mention. This is not mine, but it's
Okay.
honorable
This
mention.
is his silver shorts.
Yeah, this is my silver shorts. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. I just thought that it was I kind of had the reaction that you did, that the premise could have been so dull and it could have been incredibly trite, and he's so darn charming, and he learns as he goes, and I don't know. I'm a sucker for sweet stories like this, and he is a really sweet guy. And I love that he found, this nice Italian woman by
Oh,
the
I
end.
loved her. The kiss at the end was so good.
It was a good kiss.
Oh,
Good
it's so
pre-kiss.
It was so slow and thoughtful. Sorry.
So,
I'm super cynical, and to me it just felt like a quirky indie movie about like, oh, we're going to go find a date in meat space. How weird. So I'm going to give it 2 shorts.
2 shorts.
2 shorts.
I give this 4 shorts because I have a soul or whatever.
Yeah, all right.
Like I care about people.
Overrated.
3.5, right?
3.5. Did you do the math?
I'm doing the math right now.
5, 8.
So it's 3 3/4 shorts.
3 3/4 shorts. How many shorts do you give this? And just send a link to your dating profile so we can critique that. Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Watch the short at the link below. Subscribe to this channel, why don't you? And join us for more episodes of Short on Shorts.